What's going on YouTube? Centex Collector here. My BMX pickup number 2. I guess this may be mid-school. The frame and forks are made by Akisu, A-K-I-S-U. I think that's how you pronounce it. Never heard of it before. And I know my BMX brands very well from a kid. I picked it up because of these mags. I thought it was a mongoose. The lady had no clue what this was. She just said it was late 80s, which makes sense if it's an Akisu because they made frames in the 80s, 90s. But apparently these mags, maybe just from from 2007, but they feel like metal. I don't know why they would do that in 2007. So it's kind of combination of like mid-school, old school, new school parts. So these black ops, I guess, are new. And then this crank and sprocket. I don't see any indicators, branding on it, but it looks old school. Chain is KMC, so that could be new or mid or old. And there's the production number. There's a chain tensioner on there, so that's definitely pretty old school. Brakes, we got Odyssey 1999 front and back. And it's got the Diacomp clips. And we got the seat post. This looks old school. And then this post clamp. No markings on it, so I'm not sure. I mean, once I tear it down, I can figure it out. This seat, I don't know. This seat could be just new Walmart, or it could be old mid-school. Then this head post stem. Again, it's Black Ops. It looks mid-schoolish. People are saying it's a noose, I don't know. Odyssey brake lever here. Assuming this is Odyssey 2, looks just like it, but sticker's not there. The grips, somebody said they're probably new. The end cap N on it. Odyssey 99's up front. And on the forks, it says Akisu. And then there we got the serial number, starts with an A, which is an indicator of Akisu. But I don't get it though. 07, because it's got these long stems. And that's how you would screw on your pegs back in the day, and people steal your pegs, they'd screw them off. The new ones slide in, and they're pretty, and then the bolt would just go over. So the new ones are usually, I don't know, it's just seem like older mags. I guess once I break this thing down and clean it up, maybe I'll get some better indicators. Looks like the tires so dirty I can't really read what the tires are too. I mean, this thing's pretty dirty for being quote-unquote new. I mean, yeah, I guess these look kind of new. Maybe this guy really wrote this pretty good. But overall, like I said, $50, you couldn't beat it. This frame is really clean. Throw some polish. I didn't see much rust. Throw some chrome polish on it and get that good to go. But this is gonna be my first resto project. Oh, and these handlebars, I don't know. I mean, even the bars, there's no marking on the bars, so maybe when I take it apart, I can find a date stamp somewhere hidden. I thought I saw a sticker on this one earlier. Yeah, there's like this lightning bolt sticker. Not sure if that was part of the original, before or after, but yeah, I figured why not. $50, the mags I'm debating on. either painting them or powder coating them. Like, kind of digging this blue, so I'm thinking about just going all blue on this thing. Maybe the mags, keep the mags black, do blue tires, maybe update the seat for sure. Go with the plastic mid-school, maybe blue. Got some blue pedals coming in from guy on BMX Museum. Thank you for that. Maybe, I like the blue grips. I'm not sure if these are new. Maybe I'll replace those, replace that head stem, replacing the pedals. And the post clamp, man, that looks old just by the bolt. Maybe I'll just repaint that. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Maybe do a blue sprocket. I don't want to overdo it, but I'm not a fan of blue, but I think the blue and the chrome looks really good together. Maybe do some blue cables, blue levers, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, guys, I'm gonna try to keep this cheap. It's basically my first BMX resto project, so I'm literally gonna break this whole thing down, every nook and cranny, clean it down, and then build it back up from the frame. Get the frame chrome nice and shiny, get this thing all broken down, figure out what I actually have, and then go from there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What's going on, YouTube? Centex Collector here. About to do a citric acid bath. Right now I got all the parts put together in this tub that I got from Walmart. It's like a 41 quart, which is about 10 gallons. So you can see, got the Akisu frame. I believe this is like an 84, mid to late 80s frame. Handlebars, I think are just some cheapy Black Ops knockoff or something. Akisu fork and frame. And the tensioners back there and some random bolts from the stem. The sprockets pretty bad and rusty. All the cups, seat clamp, and then the seat post. There's a fluted seat post in there, so I'm just throw it all in here. One you gotta show you before I put in the water. So this should hold about 10 gallons of water, and then we'll do 8 ounces to every gallon. So that's gonna be 80 ounces of the citric acid. But let me put all in there and come back. All right, here we go. So now we got about 9 or 10 gallons. I didn't measure out exactly the water. Fortunately, the frame didn't go all the way submerged like I wanted it to, but I mixed up the citric acid, got off Amazon. I ended up using the whole bag. I think this was like 12 bucks on Amazon. Got it like next day or 2 days. It's a 5 pound. So I basically put 5 pounds in here. So 8 ounces to every gallon. And then I use this degreaser. You can get this pretty cheap off Amazon too. I use this degreaser first to spray some of these parts to get off some of that hard grease or whatever before I threw it in here. And then now we'll just let this sit for 24 hours. The frame wasn't too bad, so I'm not too... Most of the frame that need to be submerged is submerged. The parts exposed, as you can see, aren't that bad. But it'll be interesting to see our results. Now we just have to wait 24 hours and see how you can see stuff starting to bubble already in certain places. I may do a time lapse and check it at X amount of hours, we'll see. But I started this 2:30 Central Time on a Friday, so it should be done by 2:30 tomorrow, Saturday. Maybe if I remember, I'll come out here and check certain stages. Okay, here we go, guys. This is 4 hours in. You can see the water's gotten pretty nasty. It's bubbling up. It's not bad for 4 hours in. Alright, here we are, guys. 20 hours in. Looking good. We'll see once we pull it out in about 4 hours. There's good oxidation there. Alright, YouTube, so it's been about 30 hours. So I'm gonna finally pull it. I got busy today, so didn't get to pull it out at 24 hours. But it looks like some pretty good progress here. So we'll pull these parts out, dry them off, and then use some rust inhibitor. Got some WD-40 silicone I'll spray inside to protect the raw metal on the frame and forks, etc. But yeah, let's pull it out, dry it off, and see how it looks. So here is the final product after the bath. I learned a lesson the hard way. Here's all the bottom brackets. These must be chrome alloy or plated with something because I lost all the shine. So I have to order this probably off another site. But crank arm came out good, and I haven't even buffed these out. This is just washing off. I still need to run a Scotch pad over them and then use the chrome polish. This was always dingy, so I'm not sure if, I believe this is old school seat clamp. I don't know if I can use a polish wheel, or what, but I'll just paint it later on. Some of these came out dingy out the top. Well, this one came out good, but I don't know if I can polish these. Some of these came out dingy off the top bracket. Some I may just leave alone so you can't see it. This, didn't realize this is basically like a plated, so that came out pretty bad. Probably needs replaced anyway. You can see the marks from the wrenches over the years. Tensioners, probably buff those out. But other pieces like these came out great, real chrome pieces. Seat post. Forks came out great. Apparently I need to get these dipped. Citric acid I think might have ate away some of the chrome, but it looks like it was peeling anyway, so I might just have to get these dipped depending on the price. Frame came out really good, but I was really impressed with the sprocket. I wish I had it before and after. And this isn't even, I didn't even clean, that's just, I just need to buff out that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this or sell it or use it on another project. It's probably not going back on here. Not sure yet. I need to identify it too and figure out what this is. Then we got the bars. The bars came out really good. It's just the true chrome pieces, man. This works amazing, but the stuff that's not chrome, womp womp womp. But again, lesson learned. It's the cheap bike. I didn't pay much for it, so definitely my practice build. Not sure. I might want to rebuild this because I'm still not sure if this is a 83, 84, like between 83 and 87 Akisu frame. So we'll see. But I did pick up some tires and the seat post yesterday because this one really doesn't fit. People just kind of like jam this in here. So this one doesn't really supposed to go in there. I guess I should check this one. Yeah, this one doesn't really go in there either. So Maybe I might have to find another seat post completely. That sucks. But yeah, guys, the citric acid bath worked great. I'll do another video after I throw a Scotch pad on these and some chrome cleaner and show you the final results. But got, even on the handlebars, there was some issues on this back side, and that's all cleaned up. None of that rust spots. And then on the inside, I sprayed the WD-40 silicone on the inside, like on the frame and the forks, any of the raw metal to protect it. I'll be back later once I polish this stuff up. What's going on, YouTube? Centex Collector here. Hopefully you guys stayed watching. Here's the final build and restoration of the Akisu or Akisu. Not sure how it's really pronounced, since this thing is pretty rare. You don't find too many of these out there. I believe this is a 1984, the best I could find from my research. It isn't a full restoration as far as time accurate, and we'll go over that real quick. But I tried to mix in a little bit of repop stuff with the vintage. Since this is a 84, it's vintage, old school. Let's get into it. I really don't like blue, but blue really looked great on this bike. I'm gonna end up selling this bike anyways. I got some other projects I need to work on and finish to keep for my personal. But this one was my first build restoration ever, and I feel like it came out pretty well, but we'll get into it. Like I said, the frame and fork, if you watched earlier on in the video, you can see how clean this came out. I got these pads. There's a top pad too, but it doesn't fit since I went with freestyle bars instead of like time accurate 80s BMX bars, which I may swap out. But the pads I got from Columbia, from a Facebook seller, and they got here quick from Columbia. But frame and fork, Akisu, I believe it's 1984, at best I could gather, because these cranks, and I swapped out the sprocket if you saw the original video, but the cranks, I believe the crankers are dated 1984 as well. And those may be like a Columbia or some older brand. That's the Mongoose sprocket, I think I got off Mercari. Some blue pedals here looked kind of close to that time period. We got the blue tires. And then the rims I got in a trade, and they're not branded at all, but they're nice, clean, brand new chrome rims. Of course, I had to throw on the blue dice. And then the stem is a repop. Looks retro, but it's repop. And then these grips are repops I got off eBay or something just because they look good. And then these front brake, I forget which brand it is, but those are original. The bars are X Games, I believe late 90s. And go with the front brake, since this is really a BMX bike for this time period. This could be a MXA Pro. I have no idea what the frame could actually be, but just kept it generic with the pads. The pads looked really cool, and I felt it gave it this pop. The blue chain, I think that was already on here. Got a repop. I think this came from Pork Chop on eBay. I think the stem is like a SNL, probably 90s. And then the seat, I was gonna go with a different seat, but the seat didn't want to work, so I went with this one. This one's a Permaco, 80s or 90s. And then brakes. So I try to keep all the blues. I want the blue brake lines. I want the white pads. Because I was gonna put white skyways on here. I ended up trading them away, and the guy, he ended up dipping them blue and was gonna resell them back to me, but I just stuck with the chrome because they were repop skyways anyway. But I try to keep the blues as close as I could, and I feel like I did a pretty good job with, I got the anodized blue, so I feel like I kept the blues as close as I could. Like I said, this is my first build, my first attempt at restoration. The frame wasn't too bad, but you'll see I put in a citric acid bath, cleaned up really, really well. And I believe this is the 84 because you can see here, there's a hole here and a hole here for the chain guard. And kept the chain tensioners on here. I was debating on painting them blue, but I didn't. Yeah, overall, I'm really digging the way it came out. I'm not totally in love with these bars. I was in the beginning until I was bummed that once I got this pad set, it didn't fit because these obviously are too narrow. But I guess I could always throw a pair on there if I wanted to. But overall, yeah, it rides good, strong. I'm really liking the way it came out. Like I said, I totally ripped this down from everything completely. If you saw hopefully you watched the earlier part where I was doing the restoration, where I did the citric acid bath. I've completely ripped this thing down, learned a lot, because even as a kid, I never actually tore out, the bearings up in the cups or down in the cranksets. I tore everything out. Even messed with the rims a little bit, because with the skyways, the axles, had to take those in and out. So it was definitely an interesting and fun build. I have a 98 dyno air I'll probably work on next. Got some mags coming in, and I'll put on my other project, a dyno comp 97, and I'll put the repop skyways on the dyno air. But yeah, guys, here it is. Best of my knowledge, the 1984 Akisu, or Akisu, however you pronounce it. Somebody definitely correct me. But this was fun. Came out great. Like I said, I'm not a fan of blue, but this blue and chrome really popped. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm always looking for feedback and fellow collectors, whether it's BMX, video games, G.I. Joe, etc. So many hobbies going on right now. Mountain biking. JJ out.